All right, pack it in. Let's go. Hey, by the way, thank you guys so much for being here. I feel like I'm actually having a death battle with Death Battle. But the fact that you guys are here is awesome.
Hey, we love you.
And we're not Q&A'ing yet, so I'm going to keep talking actually while people see themselves. But thank you, voices that I can hear but not see.
Morning, Brett.
These lights are extremely bright and I like it. So I'd like to welcome you to the Hyatt Regency Hotel. I gotta say it's a beautiful hotel. Definitely nicer than the Westin if you guys are from the other SGCs.
Yeah.
I am curious though, if you'll direct your attention to the screen, the whole river of piss motif. I find interesting. Is there sort of like a backstory to that, or is it like somebody, like the interior designer was like, what do I do? I've got to give them my pitch today, and his dog, like, I'd walk in and was like, that's it! They say he is a whiz of a whiz. Anyway, so yeah, those are from my iPhone. I don't even know how much I'm going to be using this laptop, but I really needed to make that point clear. Also, I'm going to say that joke again during my concert, so I think you guys are the testers. So just kind of like a Christmas present that you already know what's in it, just pretend for grandma that you know, are surprised. This is a Q&A, and it's going to be just that. It's kind of an Ask Me Anything. I may be showing some stuff that no one has seen before. There's definitely going to be stuff no one's seen or heard before at the concert, but I usually just go with the flow and see what segues nicely. So thank you for being here, and feel free to hit me with some questions. Or not. We could also just sit and stare at each other. I've never done a staring contest with this many people, but you, sir. What?
Who are you?
Who am I? Wow. Well, off to an amazing start. I am, it turns out, your worst nightmare. And I know where you live. Actually, in real life, I'm Brentalfloss. My real name is Brent Black, and the reason I'm here, I think, other than my dashing good looks and my secret relationship with Stuttering Craig, is that I write lyrics to video game music. I like parody lyrics, kind of like Weird Al. And yeah, that's who I am. Thank you so much for asking, because I guess if other people, you know, were lost or just kind of fell through the roof and ended up in this room, they need to know that. Front row, hit me.
What's your favorite scent of ladies' deodorant? Oh my God.
Favorite scent of ladies' deodorant? Well, I have to tell you, it's a secret. For real though, I guess I just don't notice those things. Elizabeth, what kind of deodorant do you wear? Secret. Hey, I was right! Yeah! That's my girlfriend, everybody, front row. She's awesome. Yeah, I nailed it. Wow, I'm amazing. Red non-Mario hat. I almost said Mario hat, but I don't see an M.
So, you've written lyrics to BioShock.
Correct.
BioShock Infinite came out recently.
Yes.
So, are you planning to do lyrics to that? You could do like a barbershop.
This seems like it's less of a question, more of a life coach session. I am, in fact, I've written a draft of in fact, barbershop quartet song. It's going to be another original, and I can't quite, because it hasn't been recorded yet, I'm not going to give away who the collaborator I'm doing it with is, but let me just say, someone who would be great for vocal harmonies, who everyone's been saying lately I should really collaborate with. So interpret that as you will. Hey, two guys, what's going on? Good to see you. Come on in. Didn't make it in the death battle, huh? Anyway, good question. You, sir, in the safari hat.
How excited are you for the next paranormal activity movie?
How? Let me tell you. How excited are you? Not at all. Because the thing is, the paranormal activity movies it's kind of like, you know how if you're really hungry and you begin eating a bag of cheese puffs, the first like 10 are pretty good. Then you reach a point where you're just eating because you've forgotten that your hand is feeding your face while you watch something. And Paranormal Activity, what is it, 5 gonna be? Is gonna be like, if they make another one in fact, would be like the very bottom where you've forgotten that you're even alive. You're watching some TV show and you're just rubbing orange dust on your face because your hand doesn't realize it needs to stop. That's kind of what Paranormal Activity 5 is going to be like. Just, we've kind of seen it, we've kind of eaten those cheese puffs. I liked the first one a lot. The second one I actually liked more than most. Third one I was pissed off because they put stuff in the trailer that was not in the movie. Don't do that! Because then I'm waiting for that one scene I saw in the trailer. It gives me a whole weird sense of the timing and, you know, you don't have the whole Netflix thing where you go, okay, we have 30 minutes left, so I definitely know where we're going in terms of acts and whatnot. And 4 was just totally dumb. But I mean, you know, anytime you hang a dagger over somebody's head and just like, it's on the ceiling, we don't know why, it can fall at any time. You know? It was, it made my, you know, squeezed my butthole a couple times, but that was basically it. By the way, you should know, if you don't, this is probably going to end up being somewhat of a PG-13 panel. So if that's a bad thing, go. Run, Charlie. Robin, hit me.
I want to know, how did you know that Paula Deen was such a modern-thinking liberal, and what did you do to change your mind?
So Robin, who apparently stalks me on the internet, is referring to a Facebook post and tweet that I tweeted not 5 minutes ago. Oh, blame your son. I see. No, not me. I've heard him talk before. He's not a mute. Okay, well. Oh, wow. So awkward. Yeah, that's a whole different question somebody should ask me about when it's not so awkward. So the point is that Paula Deen apparently said a thing that offended people, and I just tweeted and Facebook posted that all my notions of her as a forward-thinking liberal progressive are just totally dashed. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, which clearly you don't, you've been at a gaming convention and not watching CNN in my hotel room with me. So anyway, so yeah, that's what that's about. Keep it rolling. You, sir.
Do you really like Moulin Rouge?
Do I really like Moulin Rouge? Yeah, man, I really do.
Yeah!
Do you guys really like anime and yaoi paddles? Everyone's got a thing, man. Yeah, I really like Moulin Rouge. And the ladies love it. Some of them, the ones without good taste. You with the red gloves. By the way, what's the deal with all the safari hats? Is this a game? I don't know. Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
But, question, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? When I was in high school, I used to say Dead Poet Society. That's kind of the kind of movie you like in high school. You know what I mean? The way The Catcher in the Rye is great when you're 15, and when you're 40, it's like, oh, I can't believe this. This is so stupid. My favorite movie of all time, gosh, I really like Finding Nemo. I love The Little Mermaid. I love The Matrix. Edward Scissorhands. Pulp Fiction is one of them. Thank you, Mr. I read your Facebook favorites. Somebody's been stalking me on my old OkCupid profile, apparently. Yeah, that's a pretty good amalgamation. There's probably some really good ones that I totally forgot. Little Miss Sunshine, did I say that one? Anyway, it's good. In the back.
If you've ever played something and then thought it was really awesome, and then now that you're older, you played it again and you're like, why the fuck did I like this?
It's a great question, and actually, yes, Final Fantasy IV was, and in some ways is, my favorite ever video game. Final Fantasy was released as Final Fantasy II when most of you were just still seeing it. But I feel so old. But yeah, you know, as a kid, it was amazing, and the twists and turns, and but Kane's bad now, but now he's good, but now he's bad. Oh man, what's gonna happen? And I tried to go back, my girlfriend is not as versed in video games as I am. She had never played Final Fantasy IV, so when we got together, I was like, let's go back and play a classic together. I haven't played this game in 15 years. So we started playing it, and I was like, this script is so bad. The translation's weird. The fact that in order to keep certain numbers of people in the party, certain characters have to leave or show up for no reason at all. They're stranded underground in the dwarf world, and they're like, how are we ever gonna get out? We're stuck here until we can figure something out. And then Sid's like, I've got a plan, and just leaves. And it's like, you didn't wanna tell everybody else the plan so we know whether you were coming back or not, you jerk. But yeah, Final Fantasy IV, it's still a classic, it still lives in my heart, but more my 11-year-old heart than my 29-year-old heart. Great question. You, sir. The most frustrating game I've played. Well, probably Battle Kid, because I was playing it with Jared and Craig. And sucking the fattest donkey dong of all time. What was it, 127? Now here's my contention that Craig will say is not fair, but here's the thing. Battle Kid was intended to be played on a 3:4 aspect ratio screen, the physics of which are a jump that arcs kind of like this, as opposed to like this. A Mega Man kind of jump, a Mario kind of jump. So I'm going to contend that it would have been at least down to like, I don't know, 125, maybe 123, had it been 4:3. But yeah, Battle Kid, absolutely frustrating. And John Luke from Austin is in the very front. Wow, wow. How many of you do I have to be totally afraid of you ever opening your mouths? Good to see you, buddy. You're a VIP again. Nice. All right. Yeah, and you've got a, what are those called? A Vuvuzela. Okay. Well, don't be too over Vuvuzelas. That was, don't even encourage me about those. You, sir.
Out of recent video games, maybe the last 5 years, is there any game that has a soundtrack that you absolutely love?
I mean, BioShock is almost in the last 5 years, but the problem is the soundtrack that I love about it is the Ink Spots and Billie Holiday, you know, so like I'm gonna not count that one. Gosh, you know, I don't think so. Because the thing is, we do ambient music, or we do kind of mostly forgettable orchestral stuff sometimes. And I haven't played every game in the last 5 years. I actually only joined the next generation, or current generation, this past year when I got an Xbox 360, and then this year when I got a PS3. And if you want to call it the current generation, when I got a Wii U. Oh, you guys are Nintendo fanboys. I can tell, it's okay, it's okay. I like Nintendo too. Mostly before, you know, now. Anyway, so I wish that I did, but I mean, like, okay, New Super Mario Brothers, there's songs in that are new. I don't really like it though. Like, I don't think that that just to me does not hold a candle to the original or to any of the original stuff. Maybe that's because I'm older now and it's not like close to my heart the way that when you're a kid, like you kind of love video games like you love the people in your life when you're a kid. You bond with them in a special way. But so maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Have I waxed poetic, Elizabeth, about any video game soundtracks from current gen games? I did like the Nintendo Land title theme. I did like that. John Luke, are you leaving me? You walked up, you sat in the middle. Did you take an invisible dump in my panel and then just leave? All right, go then. It's okay, you have an important, exciting life, I know. I get it, I actually can't hear you or care. I love you, and I'll see you later. And I still like the beer. All right, see ya. All right, Shelby.
How does it feel to know that there's a comic of you going up just about weekly?
How does it feel to know that there's a comic about me going up weekly? Well, as the writer of it, okay. It would be really cool if somebody else was writing a comic about me every week. That'd be awesome. But it feels like work, and it feels like waking up every Monday and Wednesday and going, wow, shit, we have to write something. And me and Dan going, what do you think? Okay, how about cats? No. Oh wait, yeah. Like, you know, the other day I pitched Dan a comic that probably won't become one about like misunderstandings of the future, and like some college kid walks in on his roommate convulsing with an Oculus Rift on, and he's like, oh no, I think he's having a seizure, and then he finds out that he's like got this like sex simulator game, and he's like, oh, whoa, you gotta put a tie on the door. Anyway, clearly that was not that good of an episode, but that's why we didn't do it. But that's kind of how it goes. It doesn't feel like, wow, there's this thing based on me. It's more like, wow, I'm writing this thing twice a week on top of everything else. It's cool, but it doesn't, you know, a lot of stuff like that wears off after the first 150 episodes. Yeah, cool. Next question, you sir.
Are you going to be releasing another album soon?
Am I going to be releasing another album soon? It depends on how you define album. The thing is, my sound engineer right now is in a really tight spot where he's got 2 jobs because he's leaving the U.S. Army while, this is not a joke, joining and being hired by the Salvation Army. We really have only 10 minutes left? Wow. How long is this panel? I think I want to quote this French guy who once said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I thought you were leaving, Invisible Gun. I have to say, you're positive. There's something in here at 4. Guys, I gotta tell you, I mean,
Warming up.
that's, can I talk to somebody more important? I'm not being a prick, but I don't do half hour panels. I know that sounds like a real dick thing to say to a third full room, but can I talk to somebody? All right. I know it's not your idea. Thank you. It doesn't take half an hour, does it?
The sign on the door said an hour.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being a diva douchebag, but like, come on, guys. We just got started. I've got so many more embarrassing things to say. And thanks for being good sports. I feel a little cranky tonight, I'm not sure why. I think it's because I can't see your faces, so you're a bunch of just questions with no faces. Was I answering something? Album. So the thing is, I want to go to an EP model. Thank you, screensaver. I want to go to an EP model, kind of like Megaran, because the thing is, albums take forever. EPs are 6 or 7 songs I can release a few times a year. And from a money perspective, I'm not great at handling 1 year making like really decent money and the next year like not anymore. Because most of the money on an album is made in the first 6 weeks after it comes out. And like the whole idea of like these high level concepts like saving money and investing, making good decisions. They're just, whoever turned the lights down, thank you so much. This is way better. Does it look okay still? Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. I really hope we don't get kicked out. If we do, we're gonna have to, but nah. Here's the thing. If we, at such point as this panel's over, whether it's, half an hour or what the fuck, I'm gonna be going to my booth in the vending area because there is a signing tomorrow morning, but you guys actually showed up to my panel. I feel like you guys are either lost or you're hardcore fans in a way that the dead panel people are. So thank you. And thank you for putting up with my cranky ass. I appreciate it a lot. But thank you. Thank you, anonymous voice. I'm just kidding, I knew who it was. So yeah, I'm gonna be, basically, if you guys wanna beat the autograph session, if you have anything you want signed, or if you wanna grab either of my 2 CDs or the new Game Over Tiny's poster, they'll be at my booth. So I'm gonna basically just go there, kind of Moses style, so if you wanna just follow my shiny bald head. Because it may be happening very soon. I mean, if they tell me I have to leave, then I guess I have to leave, but anyway. So, did I sort of answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, like right now I also want to do the G-rated Bits of Me, and I would like to do another, a sequel to the Super Secret EP, which was an EP that I did, I guess, a year or 2 ago that was like all non-Brentalfloss stuff that I'd written kind of outside of that world. I'd like to do that again, because I do write stuff that's not with lyrics. And even though that's really fun, and I know that's the main thrust of my core audience, there's other stuff that I feel like I need to let out somehow, and if it's half decent, why not, put it in an EP? So, I hope that answers your question, but yeah, we probably won't be seeing another 20-plus track Brentalfloss album, because I'd rather do it more often with less tracks.
Okay.
You, sir?
I know you said you were working on one original barbershop quartet right now. How many other originals are you currently kind of thinking about?
It's a good question. How many originals? I mean, I have a lot of original ideas that don't quite make it because I go, well, this isn't broad enough, and as much as it's great having hardcore fans, there's also sort of this double edge to fandom where when you have a shtick people like, when you go and do board games, or you go and do, that's a reference to the AVG, by the way, you go and do the other stuff you like to do, and they're like, this is not Rice Krispies, I wanted Rice Krispies, you have given me Special K. And people can become kind of like this angry mob of commenters who really aren't that upset, but it can feel like, oh man, I really need to stick with the program. But I'm actually doing, this is something that only a few members of the mailing list know, so this is kind of exclusive information, a new channel called the BB Spin, and it's actually everything else. Because I feel like people who only like the With Lyrics series, they are my bread and butter. They keep me alive and fed and clothed. But most of them only want the With Lyrics stuff or other video game content. why clutter up their feed with stuff that isn't what they want to see when I've got all these other ideas? I probably, for every non-with lyrics idea that I have, I probably, like have 5 others that I don't do. Because I'm just going, yeah, that vlog's not going to really play to that audience. So I'm going to split it up where all the other stuff I want to talk about that's totally not right for a video game comedy audience, like politics, vlogging, news, all the kinds of things that really just ruin everything on a video game comedy channel are going to go on the TV Spin. Anyway, so how many originals do I have in the works? I guess I don't know. 3, 20, something like that. Somewhere in there. Tom, hit me.
Okay, so you've had the comic going on almost 2 years now, and you've been doing with lyrics for much longer. Have you ever drawn inspiration from one for an unreleased product, or drawn an idea from a comic that came from one of your songs?
So you're saying, has there ever been any crossover of inspiration from comic to song or song to comic?
Yes.
Yes. In fact, lots of times when I have the idea with lyrics for the future, do we have any update? Is it definitely 4?
No, it's definitely 4:30.
Okay, cool. Sorry to be a prick. I was just really surprised. I've never done. By the way, while they have the floor, please give it up for Brian and Andrea, who are putting up with a fairly cranky version of me. I'm just saying, it was strange. I've never done a half-hour panel, and it seems like SGC would be an odd place to have it. So thank you for putting up with me. Please don't tell everyone you meet that I'm a total asshole. Or at least put like a qualifier, like he's a total asshole, but so handsome. Anyway, thank you guys. Kelly, hi.
Thanks.
Those of you who I know, I try to point out. I can barely see you. Go.
Okay, so you've already got the comic going. Is there any potential chance that you might do like animated shorts in the future?
I just realized that I didn't answer Tom Harvey's question, so I'm going to do both at the same time. Did you hear it? That was so fucking lame. So, comic, usually when I have an idea for a future, with lyrics video or a future thing, like I'll make a comic about that, or about that style, or like a comic that's on my mind. For instance, I'm preparing a Gordon Ramsay video for the future, for my other channel, and notice Gordon Ramsay ended up in Burger Time. It's like things that are on my mind surface, right? So to parlay that into Kelly's question, animated shorts. We've talked about doing them, but clearly have not. So we'll see. The comic's kind of in flux right now. So we're kind of reaching a point where it's like we're reevaluating like how we want to go forward and what the future holds. Because the thing is, webcomics are very 2004, and so it's an interesting time to do them, but it's a matter of how we want to restructure to make it more efficient. And so I can't actually conclusively answer that. I wish I could, but I'm going to have to keep you in mystery, much like our video display. You in the green shirt, sir.
Just as on a personal note for you, I just want to know, I've seen you on the internet everywhere, to be honest. I mean,
All the porn sites, all the televangelism. I get around.
the question is that you and yourself are successful by yourself. You also go over to other people's videos like Doug Walker from Rouge and Paul for Campbell.
Sure.
I love the character, by the way, by Professor Brentalfloss.
Thank you.
And then you go, and then I see you a month ago, you're in Canada with Fraser on BGA, like Mario Kart 8. How do you feel personally about how you are able to get such a wide range of fans, not only from us, but from other people online as well?
I think it's just a matter of faking my way into different environments constantly. I don't know. I mean, the thing is that, people are incentivized to collaborate with other people they respect and have similar senses of humor with. It usually works out well. I mean, it's not always perfect, but like Doug, is so much more important than me, and I like his videos, and when he's like, hey, let's do something, I'm like, yeah, tell me when, tell me where. And Video Games Awesome guys, like, obviously they have a huge following, they're really funny. I happened to be in Vancouver, so I went and checked it out. But to answer the question of how I think I'm able to participate, how I feel about it? It's awesome. I mean, the only times I don't like it are the few times where I really don't particularly get along with people, but that's extremely rare because Usually I'm in a better mood than I am today. So, but thank you for bearing with me. And yeah, I guess I wish I had something more profound to say about that, but I mean, you know, there is a business side to it. It's like when people who are really moving and shaking and you like their stuff are like, hey, let's do something. It's kind of like, cool, awesome. So yeah, those 2 words are basically how I feel about it. You, ma'am.
Currently, what work are you most proud of that you've done?
What work am I most proud of?
Song, anything?
Oh God, this is one of those what do you want God to say when you get to heaven questions. And I know the answer to that question. I wanted to say, you're not actually dead, bye. What work am I most proud of? You know, that's a really tricky one because you never want to think that something you've done is the best thing you've done because that could mean it's the best thing you'll ever do. So I don't think in those terms. I really like the BioShock song, but it's also like not as good live per se as like, you know, this song I do called The Little Mario made. You know, so like how do you judge? I feel like I teach when I teach lyrics to both children and in videos, I teach that you want to strive to have a technically perfect song, but that a song that is technically perfect in terms of lyrics is not necessarily a great song. It could just have perfect rhymes and perfect scan. So basically what I'm saying is I'm stalling, and I don't, this is a hard one. What work am I most proud of? I thank you teleprompters from hell, but I actually don't know. I think if it was the Slender Man song, I'd slit my wrist. Are you kidding? That was like a no. Although DJ Cutman's awesome, but yeah, no, that was like a little Halloween fart in the wind. But I'm gonna go ahead and say, wow. You guys are really filling my resume out so nicely. I'm gonna say the BioShock song, just because I feel like it's the actual like work going into the internal rhymes and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun to write. It happened very quickly, but I feel like it's a tight lyric. It's fun, and it's one of my favorites in terms of like encapsulating what was actually going on. So thanks for asking. Front row.
Are you planning on doing any shows outside of conventions, specifically for being like New York City or for anyone anywhere else?
You know, New York City's a really hard place for me to do shows for a few reasons. I know you, huh? Andrew? Yeah, okay. I so rarely remember names, but everyone whose name I magically remember is in the same room right now. It's amazing. So yeah, New York kind of sucks because it's like, okay, the energy in this room is I'm like saying whatever I want to say, making fun of you guys, giving you shit, and because you guys are fans and nerds, you for whatever reason have this enthusiastic love. I don't know why, but I'm so happy about it, grateful for it, and fucking lucky, frankly, because not everybody gets to experience this. That said, that kind of energy, you don't find it in New York. You find New York, you go play a show, and people are like, yeah, whatever. Like my friends just did in a band called Sioux City Kid, they just did a show in New York City, and they're like, all right, everybody, this part's got a sing-along part, so start clapping and singing, and everyone's like, is he fucking serious? I don't know. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm like trying to be supportive friendly. New York's tough. It's tough. It reminds me of like I was in a show. I did a show in Austin that maybe a few of you were at 2 weeks ago, and it was in a bar patio, sort of in the parking lot. So you had enthusiastic, hyper, like caffeinated nerds, which is my bread and butter when it comes to a live show. And then you had people that had no idea what I was singing about, what the jokes were. They didn't get it. So the people that were like there being like, okay, whatever, were like cool in a way that made the nerds go, oh, we can't be excited about candy. Like they so when I was like, who wants candy? They were like, I guess. So like New York's kind of like that in general. I would love to play New York, but in a weird way, the city with everything, it's hard to get people together in a way that they feel, I think really what it is safety. I feel like at a gaming convention, I'd like to think most of you guys feel safe to be huge nerds. I certainly do. But the world is not always so kind. and New York is more like the world. Everywhere you go. I played a show in Webster Hall last year, and it was just kind of weird. I opened for a band called Psycho Stick, and yeah. And so here I am opening for this like screamy, sort of funny metal band, and I'm like, won't you come on down to Rapture? What the fuck am I doing here? So the short version is I'd like to do more shows in New York, but I just haven't found the right fit. But yeah, Brooklyn, yeah. You've been to shows in Brooklyn where some guy's got a Casio keyboard taped to his wiener and he's like just humping the wall and thinks that's music. I mean, the enthusiastic nerdiness is there. That was too much for these three. They were like, guys, I can't. My dad makes Casio keyboards. I'm out of here. See you guys never. So I'm guessing. How am I doing on time? Now I'm really paranoid. That was the weirdest thing. I thought that I had like forgotten all sense of time. Let's do this. I feel like I've berated you enough. Let me give you something that nobody else has heard. I don't want you to read along, but I'm gonna sing part of an upcoming lyric that no one has heard before. Actually, I'm going to do one that no one's heard.
Are you being yourself?
Pull down who's the funny one. Get out. No, stay. As long as somebody's funny in this room. Yeah, I'm pulling up the lyric. This is in progress, so the parts you don't like are definitely going to be changed. Whichever the parts they are. Let me find the right version.
He unplugged himself.
Yeah, no, that was on purpose. Yeah, sorry, I didn't want them to read along. Sorry, man.
Sorry, when a screen goes blue, I'm like, oh.
I totally understand. Brian is the best. Brian's pretty great. He scared me earlier. I thought that like I wasn't gonna have video, and I got all snippy, and he was like, I was just kidding, man. And I was like,
Oh, dude, we had a moment.
We did.
It was rough.
I'll never forget it, Brandon. Anyway, so that was the kiss of death. He's gonna go off and he's like, yeah, all right. He's gonna go off and get the pill, drop it in the drink. He's a good guy. I'm in good hands with him. Where's the latest version? I think this is it. I've got like 4 versions of this. Here, let's do this. Sorry to keep you in suspense. This is the current version of Ken's theme from Street Fighter 2 with lyrics. Is Pat the Nest Punk in here, by the way? Hey man, what's going on? Hi. By the way, if you guys haven't seen, well, you obviously haven't unless you were at the AVGN roast. Pat had one of the funniest videos in the AVGN roast. Anyway, it's awesome. Hopefully we'll be going online soon. I'm gonna try to like phone this in. We were gonna do Nintendo Bohemian Rhapsody live, then I reneged. Not like Paula Deen, that's a different word. Look it up. But I'm feeling confident now, so maybe he and I will maybe do it at the concert after all. I don't know. You wanna do it? The concert's tomorrow night. You still here? Alright. I always get nervous about my voice, and I'm like, I've got to save my juices. And then I get in front of an audience, and I'm like, I've got to use my juices. So I'm going to do it. Here I go. Hope you can hear it. It's what I'm gonna get. 'Cause I roll, I do this for you. It's a put you're doing, or soon you'll be puking. Yo, I hate it by some stupid hat. I hate the Honda 'cause he's fat. I wish the vlogger would just take it short to the laundromat. Let's go destroy a stranger's car and fight Mike Tyson in a bar. Yeah, Dawson thinks he's the best. That's a bit of a stretch. Every Street Fighter needs a hot stud. There's gonna be something else in this break. Every fighting game requires a douchebag. And that's me, yeah! Chun-Li can do a spinning kick. I just feel like I want to do a song about Street Fighter in general, but from the perspective of personally my least favorite character. Guile is a close second, but I always liked E Honda. What can I say? I was a fat kid. So that was Ken's theme with lyrics, and now I officially am going to do Nintendo Bohemian Rhapsody with Pat at some point in this convention, because if I can sing that, then it's not fair for me to be like, Pat, listen, dude, I don't have the voice for it. I was just kind of being a puss, let's be honest. So I do that sometimes. I can get real weird and nervous about stuff. That's usually, if I'm ever like prickly, like, I gotta go, I don't want to talk, it's really probably just nerves. Or I'm, just being an asshole. One of those two. Questions, you, sir.
How is it working with Justin Silverman?
Justin Silverman is a singular experience. He's an enigma, wrapped in an enigma. Wrapped in bacon, thank you, Robin. Justin Silverman is an interesting guy because he's one of the funniest people I know, but in a way that you never see. The guy hangs around his own house in pink, fluffy robes. He's got a floral print room with like DVDs of the Golden Girls and like a Steven Seagal energy drink as part of his collection. And he's not married actually anymore. That was not me being. I was not trying to be a dick, but it's still true. So he's so funny in the way he presents himself and lives. He's got like Burger King, Pokemon promotional like posters in his bathroom. His bathroom is like Pokemon themed. He's a really funny guy, but in person he can be extremely rude is one way to put it. Just kind of like, I feel like Justin's the kind of guy that loves by not loving, if that makes any sense. like misdirected affection or antagonistic affection. If you're the person he puts any effort into being mean to, that means he actually likes you. That's what I think about Justin, but I like the guy a lot. I like having fun and collaborating with him, and I will continue to do it in the future, so good question. Let's clap for Justin, why not? Let's see, you towards the aisle. With the, there you go, yeah, you, sorry.
How's the musical going?
How's the musical going? Which one? Me neither. Are you talking about the one that I did videos about and stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it had a 3-week run off Broadway, was almost universally panned, and then I decided to do internet videos. What can I say? Yeah, I had a musical called I'll Be Damned, which I still think is a good concept. Basically this semi-Asperger's homeschooled kid with no friends and a really overbearing mom tries to throw himself a birthday party. It's not about Asperger's, but it's sort of that kind of person, which anyway, definitely digging a hole there. I see people pointing towards their own heads, so okay, loud and clear. The point is that this particular kid has no friends and doesn't know why, and it turns out that it's actually a lot of it is his mom not letting him leave the house. But he throws himself a birthday party against her wishes when he turns 19 and invites the whole town, and nobody shows up to the skating rink where he throws this birthday party except Satan. And Satan's like, hey, so you want a friend? Okay, well cool, because I need your soul. And I have a bet going with God, if I get your soul, I get to go back up to heaven. So all we have to do is find you a friend. And it turns out they're both really shitty at finding friends, because one is Satan and one is homeschooled, and it doesn't mean you're bad at finding friends, but this kid is really specifically, it actually has nothing to do with homeschool, he's just really bad at bonding with anyone and being, a good person socially. So that was the concept of the show. He was a big comic book fan. But I gotta tell you, when a director approaches you to do your show, and then you find out during the second week of rehearsal that she's directed a comedy in her life, that would be good to know. And yeah, it wasn't very well received, but it wasn't the best production we could have had. But I want to get back into musical theater, but I said this actually at too many games last week. The thing about musicals is, for an idea for a musical to be a good one, it has to be not just an idea that's like a month-long idea or a year-long idea, but like writing a musical, especially a Broadway one, takes on average, and this is a true statistic, 8 years from putting pen to paper until it opens. So an idea for a musical has to be an 8-year idea, as opposed to, wouldn't it be funny if Chocobos river danced, which is like a 3, maybe 4-week idea. And if it's not that bad, if it's not that great, it turns out, well, that was only 3 or 4 weeks of my life, as opposed to 8 years. So how's the musical going? It's not, but maybe one day. Stripes.
Have you ever thought of doing Animal Crossing lyrics?
Have I ever thought about what? Doing Animal Crossing. I bought Animal Crossing, the DS version, and put it on my 3DS and tried to play it. I gotta tell you, I know lots of people love it, and I think KK Slider's songs are awesome, but Animal Crossing like doesn't, on its own, appeal to me as a person because I also don't like Farmville, if that tells you anything. Like the idea of like, I'm not trying to make fun of it. I mean, I love games that nobody loves, and I'm sure you guys love games that not everybody loves, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think it'd be cool to do like, to do a cover of, okay, so what do you think about the idea of me doing this verbatim without translating it or adding lyrics for a live show? Do you know this song? Do you not know it? Am I just gonna sing and everyone's gonna be like, what the F is he doing? KK Slider sings in this weird Simlish gibberish, and I would just love to be like, not me, oh, not no way, and like having me just like totally weird, but do the whole thing. Maybe one day, because I love the songs, but there's no way emotionally in for me to in that game, because I'm just like, this is weird, why is everybody like this? Can't I just go to my house and stay there? So the short answer is probably not, but you never know. I haven't played New Leaf yet, and I hear it's really awesome. So, like I said, I hear it's awesome. I continue to do it. Green shirt.
Where did the name Brentalfloss come from?
Well, I'm glad you asked. From nowhere, from my butt. It means nothing, and I wish it were deeply significant. Like, it turns out I'm actually a dental hygienist on the side. And I'm no example of dental hygiene, I swear, I'm not. But basically in 2004, I needed a new AOL screen name, old school, and I was like, what will show that I'm like a corny, funny guy? And I was like, Brenter of Attention, Brentral Park, Brentalfloss. Okay, cool, Brentalfloss. But then people started to, here and there, like they would call me that as a nickname. And then when I joined YouTube, it was just my email address, so it was like Brentalfloss, okay. But then I kind of slowly adopted it as a persona, and it became a thing. But yeah, I wish it had more significance. And if you want to ascribe a significance to it, that's fine. Sometimes when I get this question, I tell this long story about like, so I was having a root canal, and I passed out, and like I saw the devil on a mountain, and then God was like, away with you, devil, and Satan was like, ah, and then God was like, here's what you will do, you will add lyrics to video game tunes and make the world, well, the nerd world anyway, really happy. And then I woke up, and I was like, wow, my root canal's done, I have to do this now. That is actually the origin story, I was just keeping it from you. That's really what happened. Could I just, because we're running out of time, see hands that I haven't answered questions for yet? You left and came back, you dipshit. You, ma'am.
Okay,
I know him, by the way. Don't call all strangers dipshits.
Right now, like kind of like in your current state or any time since you became Brentalfloss on the internet, are you full-time Brentalfloss, or do you have to like find other jobs to kind of like live and like survive?
That's a great question, and I don't talk about it much because I feel like if you say that you're living completely off of your art, then people start holding you to this really high standard, and if you complain, they're like, well, at least you're doing what you love for a living. But yeah, in 2010, I basically was able to see, the first CD allowed me to kind of live off of it. I've had times where I needed to do side gigs. I did a lot of catering before, and I've kind of dipped into catering during times when I'm not making that much money. I wrote for a Comedy Central iPhone app game last year for some side work. So I do side work from time to time, but I've gotten to the point where the business model is such that if I just work more on Brentalfloss, and or internet video stuff, release a new song, it's gonna be okay. So yeah, like right now I am a full-time Brentalfloss, but it is still a give and take, and there are still months where I'm worried about the rent or, you know, like taxes show up and you're like, wow, freelancing's awesome. So good question. Yes, I'm a full-time Brentalfloss. Front row.
Crashman song is gonna happen.
Crashman song. Oh, you were there at MagFest. Yeah, no, that was, that's not gonna, yeah, I feel like doing a song, you know, as much as like, I'm about to sound like a hypocrite because I have done songs that involve sensitive subjects, but the Crashman song, if you haven't heard it, the draft of Crashman I was gonna do is basically about an alcoholic Billy Joel bad driver Crashman. Crashman. Take my keys away. Crashman. And I decided against it in the end, but thank you for asking. Okay, just checking my time. You, ma'am. What's my process? Well, so I roll around in a bunch of butter. Speaking of apology, honestly, it's really, really unique to every single one. Let me give you an example of a recent one. There's an album called Final Fantasy Celtic Moon. I always want to say Celtic because of the Boston Celtics. Or is it the other way around? I don't really care. So, I don't care. So this is a great album of Irish folk tune sounding versions of Final Fantasy songs. And it's really, like, check out what they do later. Like, it's totally Chocobo and totally like, but, and I was like, this is so cool. I really wanted to do something with Chocobos, and I knew that like every literal-minded douche that needs to make sure and be a troll was going to say, point of order, they've already done Chocobo lyrics before, as if, you know, any of them were good. But this was my way of going, I really want to do this, how do I do it? Or rather, no, I'm sorry, I always wanted to do it, but I didn't find a way in until I heard that and went, what if it was like Irish punk rock? And it was sort of like this pro-animal, like, man, we really mistreat these chocobos kind of thing. And so yeah, that was one. Another one was DuckTales with lyrics, for instance. So I guess the point is that the way in for that one was a style of music. The way in for DuckTales with lyrics was, oh, I forgot this song, it's so good, I didn't even care, I want to do something with it. And then when I found the idea of Crazy Duck in Space, it was on, you know. The idea with Tetris was not actually about the song, it was about a song about how women love Tetris. So like for me, the process can start with a musical style, like Little Nemo started with gospel, another example. It can start with a game that I just love that much I want to do something about. It can start with a funny concept about a game. There's all these different ways in. But beyond that, the process just becomes breathlessly write a first draft and usually sit on it for like 2 or 3 months, and then, I don't know why, but I just let it incubate. Then I come back and I'm much meaner to it because you know what I mean? When you first write something, you think it's great, and then, you know, you come back to it later and you're like, wow, this is really not funny. So, you know, then I revise it a few times, and then it becomes a video. So I hope that's kind of helpful. And other times, honestly, I play a game knowing I want to do something with it. Like about an hour into BioShock, I was like, I hope this stays this good, because I really want to do something with it. And I beat it, and I had like a cup of coffee, and then wrote the first draft like that. So sometimes it happens like that. I wish it always happened like that, but it doesn't. Similar with well, I'm not going to show you, but just know that there might be an Earthbound lyrics coming later this year. So
yes.
Yeah. And it looks like I have 5 minutes left, and let me just ask, Andrea, are you? Hey, just so is this the kind of thing where like I need to give a little buffer because there's something right after? Or should I go up to the bell? I just don't want to, I feel like I've been kind of a pain to work with thus far, so I'm trying to like meet you halfway. Okay, so I can end at 4:30. Cool, and again, thank you very much. And again, I will be going straight to my booth, probably out this way, and I'm probably gonna just continue walking. So you can, you know, some people try to do this thing where it's like, hey, I've got to go, but I'm probably going to be kind of like a RoboCop, like I've got to go to the booth. So let's all go there together, and if you want to hang out, take pictures, shake hands, I'm not the kind of guy that asks people to pay money just to have things signed, because that's kind of like reserved for like William Shatner, you know, at like Comic-Con. I'm definitely not there yet. So if you want to come and just hang out, handshake, butt slap, whatever. Yeah, I got time for a couple other questions, I think. Red and yellow stripes. I didn't actually say I'm having a hard time writing it, Tim Russert. I think you made that up. Right. No, it's okay, it's okay. I'm making sure that the headline tomorrow is not going to be Brentalfloss having trouble on the sites that do not exist that give a shit. You're quite, I'm sorry, what was the actual, the beat of your question was? It's doing a lot better than when it started. I'm not sure. I mean, I always have this attitude of ask me anything, so I don't want to discourage your question. I'm trying to figure out how to answer it without showing you too much of how we make the sausage. Because a lot of people, okay, here's what I'll say. In college, a lot of times, if I didn't really want to write a paper, which was all of them, I would procrastinate till the night before, stock up on energy drinks, and just get it done. And the webcomic has become that almost every time. So it's not that I dislike it, it's that with Lyric series has a very fluid release schedule, and by that I mean there is none. When I have a cool idea that I deem cool enough to release a video, I do, and three out of 4 times I think I'm right. But the comic, it's not that it's not good, it's that it doesn't matter if it's the best thing we've ever done. What matters is if we release every Tuesday and Thursday. So it becomes kind of like you could, you know, I could meet with Dan and like meet with him for, I don't know, 5 hours and come up with all these ideas. But then there's going to be something that comes up like all of E3 and it's like, oh, forget those other ideas. Burger Time, that was like 20 years ago. Let's do something about the Xbox One, you know. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, it's really just the fact that my brain does not do well with a schedule in which I have to come up with content on a regular basis, twice a week, and yet we deal because that's our job. So thank you for asking a question that was kind of ballsy and uncomfortable. I do appreciate that. If nobody did that, it would just be like, Brent, how are you so cool? And nobody, you know, the people that are actually here to find out about stuff would probably find that lame in about 5 minutes, so thank you. Let me do one more and then we'll head over. Which one of you total strangers do I like the most? Well, now wait, you guys are the ones that asked me who I was, so sorry, guilt by association, beat up your friend. The hat, hit me.
You said you couldn't find a game with a good score in the past 5 years. What about LA Noire or Red Dead Redemption?
I liked LA Noire, but I didn't find the score memorable. I was actually going to do an LA Noire like semi-rap thing. Is that funny off the bat? I guess it is. Like, because I feel like, especially if I lost maybe 10 pounds, I kind of could look like Cole if I shaved a little bit. Just humor me. But I can't find, what's the one that I want to do? Have you guys ever heard the song Sing, Sing, Sing?
Yes.
So there's just one part that goes doom, 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 and it was like and then on top of that was like something like this really kind of 40s sounding Cole Phelps, just a cop on the beat, you know what I mean? Like this kind of like man, like very old-timey Gangster Squad kind of thing. Yeah, I liked that is all to say that I liked the game a lot, but the score didn't stick with me because it was sort of ambient orchestral. How does the theme go?
Sing it!
Yeah, that's the thing. Adjectives actually, I can't do adjective with lyrics. I've got to do a tune. So that's the issue. Anyway, thank you so much for tolerating me, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for choosing me over Death Battle. I'm going going to my booth now. If you want to come along, that would be awesome. If not, I'll see you tomorrow at my signing maybe, or also my show at 10:30. And have a lovely, lovely night. Cheers.